Good evening. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is Grace. I'm logging in as Miss K so I can admit people.
No, please don't log in as me. Log in as yourself.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Neris. Good afternoon. Stephen, please check your WhatsApp.
Hello, delightful evening.
I'm sorry, I've been speaking on muted. I'm so sorry. How are you,
I'm
Sharon?
great, thank you. I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you for joining. I just want to give a few more minutes, but we'll start soon. Who is Aminu? Aminu Haruna Yiraso. I believe that is a man. Then we will do introductions. Steve, if you can hear me, please check your WhatsApp. Grace, do I need to make you cohort to admit people? Co-host. Grace.
Yes, so I can admit people.
You'd have said so. I will make one more person a co-host. Okay. One day I'm going to make you a co-host just in case.
Okay.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining. I know that the notice on this hasn't been, we didn't give a lot of notice, but we thought that it was important that we should do this. I'll put on my video shortly. Hello, it would be nice to do introductions to start with. You don't necessarily have to show your video if you are not able to, but it would be nice to see your faces. But in terms of introductions, please, it will be your name, the organization that you work for, what you do, yeah, why this is interesting to you. Just three very short, yeah, three very short questions that you can answer. So one, your name, your organization, why this interests you. Yes. So I will start by just calling names as I see them, and I'll start with introducing myself. My name is Dolapo Kukoyi, and I am founder of AFARA Accelerator. Why am I interested in this session? I'm interested in it because I'm interested in getting as many of you, on our cohort. And I will tell you a little bit more about that. Why I've decided to delve into this. Some of you may have heard the story during our launch. But yes, I'm happy to see you all, and thank you so much again for taking out the time. Okay, so I will start with just calling names.
Don't call my name. I'll call my name myself. Hi, I'm Lisa.
Okay.
I'm Lisa Aladekomo. I'm an entrepreneur. I own a gas project company. We help companies achieve their gas project milestones. So if you're a company that has dreams of having a gas power plant and you don't have access to funding, we help you with funding. If you're a company that has access to funding, but you don't have the right technical team, we help with that. So we're just a service, one-stop shop for infrastructure companies to achieving their goals, especially when they have DFI money or like institutional money. There's so many things there are for them to meet. So we try to bridge that gap. And I'm interested in this because, anything to help make this business more, anything for me to learn more, anything to make me stand out and grow is something that's of interest to me. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Lisa. Lisa is one of the reasons why I'm doing this.
Hey.
Lisa, good to see you.
Nice to see you.
I will go to, Grace, introduce yourself. I'm just going to go line by line. So if you're a member of the team, whoever, just introduce yourself. Yeah. Go ahead, Grace.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Grace, and I am AFARA's intern.
Okay. One name.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. My name is Wanne Wonwu. I lead the programs and curriculum development at AFARA. Lovely to meet each and every one of you.
Blessing Sylvanus. Thank you, Wanne. Blessing Sylvanus.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Blessing Sylvanus, founder of Beninex Farms. I'm into maize farming, and I convert the waste into briquettes.
Interesting.
So what interests me in this training program is the mentorship and the learning to grow my business. Thank you.
Thanks, Blessing. Blessing, where are you based?
Adamawa State.
Ah, okay. All right. Thank you. Bolo Victoria. Victoria, sorry, I'm not very good with French, but I know that you are French speaking. I hope we are able to serve you. I don't know if you have translation on here, but Victoria, please. And please feel free to speak French if you want to, if you feel more comfortable. But we have to find a way to serve you well. Victoria, she's not here. Maybe she's not here. I'll move to the next person if she come on later. Nerit. Bonsoir, bonsoir, Victoria.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Nerit Magutulok. I'm a technical assistant on this project. Thank you.
Thanks, Nerit. Okay, her microphone is not working. Okay. Do you want to type? Victoria, do you want to type? Sorry, my French is not great. You can type your introduction. Okay, thank you. Please type your introduction, is okay. Moving to the next person. Yes, Nina, go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Nina, and I lead partnerships here at AFARA. It is great to be here and great to meet you all.
Thanks, Nina. Sharon Wiki, please go ahead.
Everyone, good evening. My name is Sarah. I'm a co-founder and head of operations at Page. And basically what we do is we give businesses visibility into their energy consumption and expenses across their several sites in one simple dashboard. And I'm really excited to be here because as the name implies, AFARA means bridge. So what I'm expecting to get out of this, what I'm hoping to get out of this is to build my business, not just for, small B2Bs, but to build for scale, basically. So that's why I'm here, to learn how not just to build, but to build for scale. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. So Sharon, you provide tech services to energy businesses, is that correct? Did I understand you correctly?
No, what we provide is yes, we provide tech services, but to businesses that use a lot of energy, which is their electricity or their diesel or their solar. So as long as you're a business that you're using a lot of energy, using a lot of diesel and electricity, and you want to keep track into what your consumption is.
Right.
So instead of using dipsticks to go check and read, all this data can be manipulated. So all those killings, theft, and losses, they can be caught on your dashboard remotely.
Right. So it's a tech solution to prevent losses.
Yes.
Interesting. Thanks a lot. That's interesting to learn. Stephen.
Yes, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Introduce yourself.
My name is Steven Samuel. I live in Kano State, Nigeria. I work with AFARA as one of the media strategists, one of the media team members. Thank you.
Thanks, Stephen. Whitney Shavura, welcome. Please introduce yourself, your organization, and why you're interested in this. If you can unmute. Okay. Whilst Whitney is responding, can we have Mary Mutuma, please? Introduce yourself, name of your organization, why you're interested in this, please. And we are still waiting for Victoria. Victoria, please don't forget to send your introduction. Okay, I am from Benin, founder of CEO Green Co. I know we saw your application. Yeah, I remember that because you did a video. You were one of the only people that did a video and you did it in French. So remember that. Mary, go ahead, please.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I'm Mary Mutuma from Kenya.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Your organization and why you're interested in this? What do you do? You can't hear me. Mary, we can't hear you anymore. Must be her network. Oh, your network is a bit bad. Can you switch? And then when you can speak, please just raise your hand and we'll let you introduce yourself. I will go into the details now. Any Whitney, before we go straight into today's, I don't want to take too much of your time. Whitney, are you able to speak?
Hello.
Hi, Mary.
Hello.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mary. I think our network is a bit bad. Okay. If you can type, would appreciate that as well. Let me share my screen shortly. Just a minute. Thank you, everyone, for your introductions. I thought I saw Shion, but I can't find him anymore on this. But thank you, everyone, for introducing yourselves. This hopefully shouldn't last more than an hour. But it's really a pleasure to have you on the call. We thought that it would be important since we decided to extend our call for applications. We thought it would be important for us to, as much as possible, be able to tell you about what we're doing and what you stand to benefit from this cohort. So we will basically be sharing more information with you about the cohort. Some of you may have heard about some of these things, but we'll go into a bit of a deeper dive into some of the things that we're doing, and so that you have an idea, and most importantly, so that you can ask questions. Because we realized that during the launch, a lot of our cohort members were online. So they weren't there physically to kind of ask us questions and all of that. So that's why we've created this avenue, this opportunity as well. I don't know how many of you know that the cohort applications have been extended until 30th of June. So this is another opportunity. Grace, I won't be able to see those who are coming in. So if you can pay attention so that you can admit them. So what's the problem that AFARA is solving? And I said we will basically take you through some of the things that you may have heard during the launch. But for those who haven't heard this, then it will be useful information for you. And it's also important for us to be able to, for you to be able to ask questions. In terms of the problem we're trying to solve, just a few facts. 2.5 trillion is the sum or an estimate of Africa's infrastructure financing gap that we require by 2030. We have over 600 million Africans without access to electricity, and then 3% of infrastructure capital in Africa goes to women-led ventures, which is quite poor. Africa doesn't even receive enough for infrastructure capital, and then when you look at what women receive, it's smaller. So essentially, and when you look at it against some other figures, over 6% of women in sub-Saharan Africa own a registered business. There are actually more women who own businesses than men. But of course, it's the scale of businesses, because women in Africa are quite entrepreneurial. But female founders, juxtaposed against that, female founders receive less than, 1% of infrastructure finance, project finance across Africa. And you know that most times with energy poverty, women and children are often affected the most. So the effects of not having infrastructure and the effects of not having energy, they bear most, and women and children bear the brunt of that. And women are primary care holders in a lot of situations, particularly for energy, for their homes and their families. In terms of how much our infrastructure deficit is costing the entire continent. It's about 2 to 4% of our gross domestic product, annually. And 75% of infrastructure projects in Africa, generally, whether you're a man or a woman, do not reach financial close. Again, that talks about the scale of the problem, because it's not even at this time is beyond just men and women. It's just that Africa has a huge infrastructure deficit. And then the fact that we don't even have enough women in the space, now weakens, the pace of that development pipeline. Okay. So what's our vision and why do we exist? I just talked about the problem. Our vision is to enable, support, and scale 50 female-owned businesses in Africa's energy and infrastructure sectors over the next 5 years. And what do we want to do? We want to provide you with holistic personal development. We want to help you with your project development and give you funding support. There's a lot that goes into that, and through this accelerator program, we want to be able to build a pipeline of female entrepreneurs who will be driving these projects. We know that for as many women as we are able to help accelerate or help their projects get to funding, we are giving opportunities to more women, because we believe that any woman who goes through the AFARA Accelerator program will definitely be positioned to raise up other women. You definitely position to open up doors for other women. And it's a very strong proposition for us in terms of how AFARA is positioning in this space. We want to be able to grow a strong pipeline of women who are not just project developers, but they are leaders in their own sector, which means that they are leaders that are incentivized to also bring other women into the space. So the multiplier effect is very important for us. This is another reason why I decided to do this, but again, it's facts and figures. We think that when women lead infrastructure projects, communities see up to 30% better outcomes, whether it's in service delivery, whether it's in sustainability, whether it's in unitization. But the way the system is built, and it's not deliberate, it doesn't include us and it doesn't think about our own specific needs. So we want to create opportunities for more women who own businesses in the space and who are doing projects in the space. Because we believe that as many women as succeed, they create jobs, they will light communities, they will move markets, they will open doors for the next generation. And that's a very, very strong point for us. So why did I decide to carry this on my head in addition to many things that I do? I've been a transactions lawyer for over 20 years. I've seen that gap even in the transaction advisory space. And I've seen many tables where there are more men than women. And I've also seen where the number of women have increased, but not many of them actually own the businesses. They work for the businesses. Some of them may own a part, but we are still seeing less women who own the businesses. And we don't think that Africa can wait. We have a huge infrastructure deficit. So we have to unlock every kind of human capital that we have, especially women. So we want to be able to, increase that diversity of networks of resources, and female entrepreneurs will bring that unique insight, community trust, and resilience. The last point is what I said before, the multiplier effect. It's a very important one for us. If you go through this program, you have to commit to raising at least 2 women within the next 3 years after you go through this program. It's a commitment that we take very seriously, because one of the things about this is not just to count the numbers of women that we are impacting, but the multiplier effect of what that will be. So we are also raising women in this space, and we want these women to open doors for other women. It doesn't mean that they would not also do things for men, but we particularly want them to commit to opening doors for other women. So what kind of project types do we do? And this is very broad. So if your project is a greenfield, which means you are building a new project, we are not focused on startups. We want to help women who have been exposed to projects in one way or the other. So even if this is your first project that you're starting by yourself, but you have done this before, under the auspices of another company or another project, we're happy to look at what you are doing. But you should also have a plan that has gone beyond just concept. So you either have a business plan around it, or you've done some project development around it, or you've gotten to a part where you need perhaps technical advisors to help you with some feasibility, or you've done your feasibility and you want to take it, or you've done a proof of concept and you want to scale, So it's things like that we're looking at. We're not looking at fresh start where we are helping you think of what you want to do. You know what you want to do, and we want to help you scale it, or we want to help you ensure that you get funding, or we want to ensure that your project goes forward. So it could be whether you're acquiring an operational asset, whether it's a concession, whether it's a supply contract, whether it's an existing project, what we call brownfield, or a scale-up of an existing project, whether you're even buying shares to fund a project, or you're divesting of shares in your project to be able to invest, or you are doing a project that has something that's interesting, that has a proprietary, technology, or something that is innovative. We're interested in meeting you. So these are some of the priority sectors. It's not exhaustive. We are open to hearing, from other people, but it's all the sectors that you see here. And yeah, all the kinds of businesses. But it's not exhaustive. We're happy to see things that are new. We're happy to see things, that are unusual. Yeah. And I've talked about, what stage you should be at. So if you tick any of these boxes, where you've gone, first of all, you should have gone beyond conceptual stage. You should have some kind of viability on your business. If you've been running the business for some time, that also helps. And for those of you who have started filling the application, you notice the way our questions are. Our questions kind of are trying to get answers to some of the things that we put here. So we ask you, about the state of your project. We ask whether you have a business plan. We ask you, how far you've gone in development of your project. We ask you all these questions because we want to know about where your project is. We want to be able to articulate where your project is, but most of all, what kind of support you require. In terms of AFARA's business model, you see that capital access is at the top because that's where we want to get to, where we are able to enable you access capital. And we really want to be a funding pipeline for all the funders. So whether it's the banks, whether it's development finance institutions, we want them to always come to us when they are looking for women who are in the energy or infrastructure space. We want them to, even when they have people in their pipeline and that require some support, we want them to be able to come to us. So that's what we want. We want to become that channel and that pipeline that helps develop more women in the space. So it's project support, is learning and mentorship, some of the things that you talked about. It's also, our immersive program. We had a launch in May, but every year we will have a proper immersive program. We couldn't do the full immersive program as we envisaged because we were still looking at funding. There are many other issues around doing the immersive program, but the plan is that from next year, we will have an immersive program where members of our cohort will go to at least a two-day program, hopefully in a physical location where we'll take them through different things before we then go into the cohort itself. It's also awareness and outreach. One of the things that we're also doing alongside this is that we're working with organizations to also put out awareness and outreach around whether it's in policy, whether it's in financing of projects, particularly around gender investing, things that basically point to our objectives, which is enabling women, to be able to fund and develop projects in the infrastructure space. So that awareness and outreach is a key area of what we are doing. And as time goes on, you begin to see our programs. We will invite you to our programs as well that we'll be doing around those areas. So if you end up being part of the cohort, apart from the learning and the mentoring, you will also receive what we call expert support. So is the reason why, if you look at the application, we ask you specifically, what areas do you need support? So that we can get you the right kind of support that you need. And what the plan is that based on the project, when we assess you, do diagnostics on your project, on you yourself, what it is that we think your business requires, we'll then be able to say, to recommend, just like when you go to a doctor, we'll be able to recommend that, okay, this and this and this and this is where we think you need the most support. And we expect that you would have given us a preview into that, so that you can articulate your needs. Is that actually a scoring criteria for us, that you know what it is that you need to move your business forward, or that you need to move your project forward towards financing, is actually a key criteria. So it could be transaction structuring advice you need, it could be legal and financial advisory, it could be project management, it could be ESG advice that you need, it could be technical guidance or technical expertise, it could be fundraising, it could be feasibility and market studies. Whatever it is that you need, what we're trying to do is get partners who will be able to provide some of these, that are willing to support what we do. It will not oftentimes be free. What we try to do is get the support. You may not necessarily pay for it, but it depends on what it is that we're trying to get done for you. There may be some that may require you to maybe pay fees in ahead, so not in the immediate, but maybe success fees, for example, if we are raising funding for you. But what we are trying to do with this is to, as much as possible, get partners who would support us, and where the advisors need to be paid, we get partners who would sponsor that advice. So again, that's very important, and it's important that you're able to commit to that, because there's someone who at the end is paying for this. So it's something that you need to really commit to, and it's something that you actually really need. If you don't really need it, then please don't ask for it, because somebody else can use it. So this is what the program architecture looks like. At the moment, we're looking at 6 months at the moment. I mean, if we have more funding and we're able to do more, depending on what the business case is, we will try to. But in our first phase, which will be in the first 2 months, after the call for applications have closed and we've selected, there will be some kind of foundation and diagnostics. Then we will go into phase 2, which is more about helping you build for scale and learning about bankability. And then there will be the investment readiness and execution. Now, through these 3 phases, what's important is that we will identify in phase 1 if you need project support and what kind of project support you need. And through phase 2 and phase 3, whilst you are also involved in learning, you would also be getting project support. I also need to state that for some of you who may not get in the cohort, you are not excluded. So a lot of what we may be doing in phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, which will be webinars, there'll be learning as well, you would be involved as well, because we think that if you don't get in the cohort immediately, it doesn't mean that you cannot get into the cohort the next time. We currently don't have a policy that says that if you applied once, you can't apply again. Maybe that will happen later, but right now, we are not precluding that. So it may just be that your business has not gotten to the point where we think that we'll be able to help you. So we would rather that is either we can recommend maybe organizations that can help you in that respect, so that you can come back again and apply. So here we just talk about our foundation and diagnostics, and these are some of the modules that we have. So that the venture diagnostic and strategy reset is basically talking through your business model, understanding whether it's your business model or your project, understanding you as a founder, understand what risks and potential mitigations we can do to help you, and what your growth roadmap would be like. So the infrastructure fundamentals is more learning, where you are talking about infrastructure, finance basics, what's the project life cycle, risk allocation, understanding project development. That is more learning. But the venture diagnostic and strategy research will be with us. So, and with some of our faculty and some of our mentors. So depending on what needs that you have, we'll be able to identify what your needs are and advise on what will be best. So this talks about some of our different modules. The way the modules are arranged doesn't necessarily mean that that's how they will be done. A lot of it depends on our faculty. So our faculty members are very busy people. We'll try as much as possible to have a schedule where we try and get a lot of their content in as much as possible to be dependent on their schedules. So we want to also talk to you about corporate governance is very important, particularly when you start to get in equity into your businesses. Corporate governance is extremely important when you start to have investors stay on your boards, and even from the beginning. And I know sometimes it's difficult to start a business and start with having boards, but there's also a progression that you need to understand. And I think when you understand what corporate governance is and the structure, it helps you make a decision at what point you want to have those structures in your business. There's also financing, basically financial foundations about pre-financing, what kind of cost structures, what kind of financial documentation, what you'll be exposed to if you are raising money. And we have two major will I say partners in this at the moment who will be talking about this. We have Get Invest. Get Invest basically is a German. They are run by GIZ, and they basically provide a lot of technical assistance to people looking for funding. So they understand the funding outlay. They understand, what it takes to raise money all over the world, and they will be taking you some modules around this. We also have Africa Catalyst. Africa Catalyst runs courses around project development, around bankability, and around finance. So we have two strong partners that will be able to take you through some of this. And again, your commitment to this will be very, very critical. Then there's also things, softer things. They seem softer, but they are very important. Hiring talent, people and systems. A lot of us that run businesses across Africa, talent is a huge issue. I'm sure some of you here will agree. So how do you hire for growth? How do you build high performance teams? We want to be able to have someone talk to you about this. It's also founder resilience. I mean, some of you know about this. Founders face a lot of fatigue and a lot of burnout. So how do you manage that, particularly for women? Because with women, there's your business, there's your family, there are many other responsibilities that you have, and there are just the many things that we deal with. So we would also have someone come to talk to you about that. We also have something on leadership as well. As we said, the AFARA woman who we're trying to raise is a woman who has a holistic grounding, including what it takes to lead in this space. We want to start to see people who have gone through this accelerator be women who other women begin to look up to. So that leadership part is very, very important. So these are also some of the other courses: achieving bankability, financing your infrastructure project. What kind of funding do you need? When do you need debt? When do you need equity? When do you need blended finance? How do you do, your capital restructuring? What kind of project finance? What does project finance mean? How does project finance work for you, for your project? How do you even bridge projects and bring them to financial close? And then project investment readiness. How do you get ready, for investment? The due diligence process, what kind of documentation you need to have. We also talk about legal, policy, and regulation, which is very important in this part of the world. In any part of the world, particularly if you are doing things around energy and infrastructure, you can't do it without regulation. And the most successful companies in the world often exist in a regulated environment, one way or the other. So navigating legal issues, policy and regulation, and understanding why it's important is very, very important for businesses that you are in. How do you engage your stakeholders? Who is your stakeholder? How do you build social capital? The kind of things that you see that the men do. How can you get to that stage where, you enter into places and people are able to respond to you? You need something done. You're able to get people to respond. How do you build social capital that enables those doors open for you? Remember that we are building you so that you can open up doors for others. If you can't build so that you yourself can open up doors for yourself, you won't be able to open doors for others. So social capital is very, very important. Sustainability and ESG is very important as well, particularly if you're looking to raise money in these times. People who give capital want to ensure that they're giving capital to an organization that respects certain things around sustainability, around environment, around governance. So that's why we also have a governance part. as well, so that you understand all these things and things that may seem like very strenuous, when they say, oh, because you are going to raise money, you have to do this, you have to do that. When you understand the fundamentals behind it, it's easy to then come up with your own system or your own policies around how you navigate it. And when we talk about sustainability, there's also the part of carbon financing. For a lot of you who are doing things around the energy space, how do you access carbon financing? Because it's another way to raise financing. What do you need to do in your business to make sure that you are able to access carbon financing? So we hope to be able to do some of that. And then in our phase 3, we prepare you for capital, partnerships, and growth execution. I also wanted to mention that at some point, we would also have pitches. It's not yet clear, but we will have interviews when we shortlist, and we also hope to have a pitch towards the end. Now that pitch will be for you to pitch to people who are giving capital. So I just wanted to, and it will be towards the end, which is the last module. So your scaling strategy is also something that you will look at. Tax, financial efficiency is also very important, particularly when you are doing projects across borders. So some of that will expose you to. We are looking to hopefully have one of the big 4 firms to come to talk to us about that. How do you pitch your project? And we also are interested in your wealth creation yourself. How do you manage your own wealth? How do you manage your own founder economics? How do you create exit pathways where after you've built a business, how can you create an exit pathway where you build to at least have some money for yourself after all the hard work? So these are some of the things we are hoping that you learn about. And then navigating the political landscape, whether you like it or not. I mean, things like energy and infrastructure can be very political. If you are doing a project that matters to a country, you become political expert. And some of you know the Dangote story. If Dangote only set out to just do this refinery, the fact is that he got into political murky waters, and Dangote, I mean, that's it. It has become his terrain. But this particular one on this refinery, and maybe we should make Dangote's story a case study. It's a very key case study as to how to navigate the political landscape. And I won't say that everything that he did was, but the fact is just understanding what he went through, because he's doing a project that is for mostly the benefit of the nation, although he's not a charity, he's also making money. How do you do that as well? How do you navigate the political landscape? Should you be doing your projects and completely ignore the political landscape? So some of those things we'll talk about as well. If you are in a country and doing work, should you know who the president is? If you are doing work in a state, should you know who the governor is? Or you should just act as if you don't know? So some of those things. So over the 6-month period, there will also be Women Leaders series. These are some of the topics that we'll be talking about. You'll be hearing from people who built a business from the ground up, leveraging social capital, value of sisterhood. There are many more things that you'll learn about in our monthly sessions. So it's going to be quite a busy 6 months that we hope that you'll be able to commit to. And these are some of the cross-cutting elements. So mentorship monthly, we also have some mentors. We're hoping to get more. We'll have office hours where you can come and talk about some issues you are having, and we hope that we would have some of our technical partners help you with those issues. Then we have the peer learning circles where within amongst yourselves, you can also learn. So we have a platform that is created to also create a community. So we are hoping that you'll be able to leverage that as well, so that you can learn from yourselves as well. And then there will also be your progress tracking. All of this will include what we are tracking in terms of your project support for some of you who will be in the main cohort. So at the minimum, for this program, these are the key things we expect that you will have. So a strategic growth plan, or there'll be lots of homework. Investment readiness pack, your investor ready pitch deck, or an improved one if you already have one, your data room, and specific project support. So this I've talked about a little bit. And these are some members of our faculty. And I said, these are very, very busy people. So please, when we organize a webinar with these people, please, let's take it seriously. And these are people who, if we said we are going to pay their hourly rate, we will not be able to. They're very busy and they've committed in principle that they want to support this. So we would like to please see, you attend, the webinars, the talks that they will be giving as much as possible. And some of them will also be providing you with project support. And this is not exhaustive. So applications have been extended to 30th of June. If you filled an application before, please go back. Look at it, because I've told you a lot about what we're expecting, and I'll even give you our eligibility criteria. We have 28 days left. You have a lot of time to go back to that application. It will be open for you to review it. I think we had very few completed applications, but a lot of people didn't even complete the application. So please feel free to go and get it started. If you want to even do one afresh, it is fine. And if you have any issues, there's an email address that you can send an email to. You can either use this link, just get the QR code. We'll also send the link to you after this as well. And this is some of our criteria. You must have a demonstrated sector track record. That's why we ask you questions about what have you been doing. We ask you about your business. It's all in a deliberate way to know what you have been doing. And you can see our eligible sectors, although it's not exhaustive. We also asked you about your business ownership and operations. For women who were supporting, they must own at least 60% of the business. We ask you about financial documentation. Don't be afraid. Tell us what it is. If you only have management accounts, tell us. If you don't have if you don't have a structure in terms of accounts, let us know as well. We want to know about that. So we don't want where you answer the questions and there's nothing there. Some people just don't put anything there. It's important that you answer the questions as honestly as possible so we can see how to help. And as I said before, you may not get into the program now. You may get into the learning part of the program, but not necessarily the project support part. But we may also know other programs that can help you get to where you need to before you come on the AFARA Cohort. So please let your applications be as honest as possible, and we'll see how we can help. So your project readiness and development status is also very important. What kind of work have you done? Articulating the support that you require is important. And the last thing is you must commit. If you are not able to commit, then we will not be able to. Because this takes a lot of our time. It takes a lot of the time of the people that are involved, and they are committed to doing it. So if you will not be able to commit, I remember seeing some applications where people told us they will not be able to commit. So if you're not able to commit, then we will not be able to get you on the program. We would rather even have only 2 people that are committed than have 10 or 20 who are not. So it's very important for us. And if you do get on the program and we find that your commitment is failing, we will actually call you to order and we may have to exit you if you are not able to. This is very important for us. So I'm happy to take any questions at this point. Please, this is the address you can, for any queries, any issues you may have with your application, any questions you can't ask now, please feel free to ask, but please, I'm happy to take questions. Any questions?
Hi, I have a question.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, Sharon here. Okay, so at the end of when we are good to go, what's the timeline like basically?
So we're looking at a 6-month period, essentially.
Okay. That's to kick off from July?
From July, yes. So from July till the end of the year.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it, ma'am. So as soon as the process is done, how long between end of June till we know whether we've been chosen to be part of the cohort?
Before the end of July, you would hear from us, definitely. So what will happen is even during July, we may reach out to some of you to do interviews and all of that. So you'll hear from us in July, yes.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. That's all, ma'am.
Thank you. Any other questions, please? Yeah, and if you are happy to send an email or type, Victoria, if you want to send us any questions, please do. I have to find a way to make sure that we are communicating with you properly, because I know that you speak French is your first language. Yes, Sharon, go ahead.
Sorry again. Okay, so throughout the cohort, is there going to be physical sessions or it's going to be online throughout?
It is going to be virtual most of the time. It's going to be virtual most of the time. Hello, Whitney. I've just seen your introduction. Thank you. Dispensation of LPG. I'm here for networking and funding linkages. Great. Yes. So Victoria says she has a problem with the inscription. I'm not sure if that is with the registration. I have to check what that means. Don't worry, Victoria. We will definitely have it. Victoria, if you can send us an email with issues that you have, we will reach out to you. Please, we'll reach out to you personally. I'll stop sharing now. She also sent. Okay. Sorry, I'm going to have to find what this. Thank you. We will reach out to you. Thank you very much, Victoria. Any other questions or anything else? Questions, thoughts, suggestions, anything that you think would make it easier for us to be able to assist you? Okay. Okay. Mani, can you kind of like close and give basically a vote of thanks, or please, so that we can close this. Thank you.
Yes, I can. Hello, everyone, once again. Good evening, and thank you for joining the info session. I hope that the information provided has been useful and would help you in adjusting your applications. If you also have friends or women you believe would benefit greatly from the program, please feel free to share the information with them. And we look forward to seeing your revised applications. If you have any questions, please send us emails and we'll be happy to respond to that. You can also follow us on our social pages. We're on LinkedIn and Instagram. Steve, if you can please help us with the social handles, that would be useful, so that as we also communicate and pass information via email, we're also sharing that via social media. So thank you for spending the past hour. Won't take much of your time. I know it's evening for some of you. It's already getting like it's late evening for you, and we would look forward to starting the cohort with you. So thank you.
Thank you.